Welcome to the Justin Hamilton podcast. On today's episode, Dave Anthony is back. It is one of those typical Dave Anthony, Justin Hamilton catch ups. And stick around for the end when Dave manages once more to pop the bubble of someone that I've at least enjoyed their work. It's a classic Dave Anthony trope that he has with me. And he hits me when I least expect it. So, yes, as always, a really interesting conversation, political, talking about stuff that's going on in Australia at the moment, and we discuss what's happening over in America politically as well, and just the way it's affecting sport. And you've heard us chat before, you know where the conversation's going. So I hope you enjoy it. Just before I bring Dave in, just a couple of things for people in Adelaide. I will be performing at the Rhino Room on the 25th of September when I will be hosting the regular Rhino Room show. I think that'll be my last gig in Adelaide for the year. So if you're free and would like to come along, please do so. And then on the 17th of October, you can come and see me perform live in Ashfield in Sydney. It's my first solo show in Sydney for quite a while. Gen X marks the spot. And they do a little festival there. And they asked me if I would like to do the 5 o'clock session, and I was rapt that they asked. It's a nice little room that they have, and I was like, yeah, I would love to get on board with that. Give me an opportunity to stretch my legs and do an hour of stand-up in the city that I live in. So if you would like to come along to those shows, head to justinhamilton.com.au, click on gigs, and you will find links for both of those shows. Just remember, if you're a Patreon subscriber, and a big shout out to everyone who is, you can get into those shows for free. Just remember to DM me ASAP so I can add you to the list. And, it'll be nice to see you in person, especially after all the support that you give this podcast. If you do like the idea of signing up for Patreon, you can find a tier that suits you. It gets you access to bonus podcasts. It gets you access to free shows that I'm producing. If it's someone else producing, I can get you heavily discounted tickets. And you can find one-off live shows and ad-free versions of this podcast. All the money that is made through Patreon goes right back into the production that is all done here. So you can find links for that at my website as well. Okay, I'll swing by at the end, but for now, let's bring in Dave Anthony. I saw something just before we started recording, and I thought, you know what? I am going to share this with Dave, and I am going to start off our hang time with something that is positive and is also a throwback to when the internet was fun. And it's not often you can say that, but now and again, the internet reminds you that there's some good shit out there, and there's some creative people who just get funny and they do it very quickly. I don't know if you saw in Minneapolis, Jake Lang, who is a far-right troublemaker who has been burning copies of the Quran publicly, was holding a placard that read, "Jake Lang loves black people, he hates the N-word," and someone dressed as Spider-Man punched him out. And it's just so good. It's so good. He's immediately jumped above Tom Holland, Tobey Maguire, Nicholas Hammond, Andrew Garfield. This is my favorite version of Spider-Man now.
It's the best Spider-Man.
And then within minutes, someone has already, it was a guy called Chris Junn. I've added it to my stories in Instagram. He's already made a comic book cover. And it just genuinely brought me a lot of joy. Have you seen it yet?
Didn't pull it up yet. Okay.
You looking it up? Yeah. You got to see it. It's worth it. And the guy really does it. It's not some.
That's pretty great.
Yeah. And it's not a home
Uh,
like it's a good costume. Whoever's in it, I got to be honest, they're fit. They look really good. And just
Spider-Man goes through the wooden cross.
yes, to punch this guy right
Yeah.
in the noggin. It's like there we go. That's what we
So
need.
good. That is so good. Yeah, that's what we need.
Yeah.
All right. That's a good way to start it.
Yeah. Yeah. I told you we were going to start positive, and you were a little bit
Yeah.
feeling a bit
I don't
yicky.
believe you. I don't believe you.
Well, why would you?
You can't be trusted with that kind of stuff.
You know, it's I have to be pretty damn certain before I say that sentence to you with my follow up. Like
True.
I'm not gonna say something random and then give you an opportunity to not only tell me I'm wrong, but burst one of the many bubbles that I've had burst over the years.
Yeah.
But is that the point that we're getting to now that we literally need people to dress up as superheroes and just go out and punch on?
Yeah. I think there's just got to be momentary little parts of joy in all this stuff. But yeah, so people should do stuff like that. Yeah, that's definitely yeah. There's not going to be bigger joy for a while, so
Yeah,
I think do the little things.
yeah,
It's like when in Australia when that kid threw eggs at the guy.
Hmm.
Remember that?
Yeah,
That's there you go.
yeah. Old school.
It's one of the things. Yeah, do it. Yeah, just little moments of joy.
Yeah,
That really needs to come back. The egg throwing, the pie in the face. Because a lot of Americans like Bill Gates got hit with a pie in the face. Like the pie in the face was a thing for a while. You'd run up and hit a guy in the face with a pie.
yeah.
Yeah.
And well, what's great about it is it's physically humiliating, but it's so in the grand scale of things you can get hit with, it's so soft. To get too
Yeah.
angry about it, you look like a nincompoop.
And even if you bring charges, like we had a ICE agent get hit by a sandwich,
Yes,
and
I remember that.
he brought charges, and the jury was like, "Yeah, no, that's not. We're not doing that."
I saw that footage as well, and it's like the I just felt embarrassed for the guy that he'd follow through with that, that he would put it up
Yeah,
on charges. Like,
yeah.
wouldn't you just pick the lettuce off your shirt and go about being a dickhead? Like, why draw
Never
attention to yourself?
never underestimate how big of babies the right wing are. Like they are just truly the ultimate babies. So when
Mm,
you attack them in any way, they just lose their shit.
yeah. Just before we started recording as well, I saw that everyone's favorite right wing comedian Dave Hughes has posted. I hope ASIO are watching the extreme left on X. These radicals are charging further away from reality in lockstep with every nation, ruining moves their leaders make. I added the S to moves because he left it out. Because I just can't help myself sometimes. I just have to fix
Yeah,
a
you got to.
sentence. Yeah, that's all I have left there. So yeah, wonder if Hughesy's in need of a pie.
One of his tweets popped up on my feed yesterday, and I was like, it's so they're so desperately trying to push the right wing that like I don't hear anything. The only thing I've heard about Husey is through you guys
Mm.
or through other Australian people, and then all of a sudden he pops up in my feed with one of his tweets. I'm like, yeah, they're just pushing right wing shit down our face, and it was like it was something about like I don't know what these people are saying. Maybe I guess your version of the FBI AI whatever.
ASIO, yeah,
Yeah, should check into these left wing types who are saying this stuff, and you're just like, okay, Husey, why don't you just relax a little bit, buddy? Why don't you hey, what about comedy? Remember comedy?
well, that's the
You know
thing that,
the thing you're known for?
and like in his defense, very good at. Like when he crafts a routine and a joke in the past, he's been very funny.
I I did a gig in St. Kilda and he was on the show and he was very funny.
Yeah.
He I don't recall him coming up through the ranks as a political commentator, though. I feel like he
No.
wasn't like. I will say this. COVID, people don't know this about COVID does fuck up some people's brains.
Yeah.
Everyone knows about the right. I can't smell, but that's brain damage. Like all this, a lot of this stuff is brain damage. But the frontal lobe is a particular thing, and we've seen guys like Matt Taibbi and other guys just. It was like somebody flipped a switch,
Right.
and I often wonder, like, oh, is this one of the guys whose brain got totally scrambled?
Yeah.
Like John Fetterman is a great example. You're just like, what happened there, man? What
Yeah.
happened? Um, so yeah, but maybe Husey was also always hiding it. There are a bunch of people that managed to hide it. We've had a couple comedians, like what's his name? Oh God, the guy who just got everyone was surprised that he was at one of Trump's things. Um, I can't remember his name. He lives in Tennessee. He's like one of the biggest comedians. Of course, I can't remember his name. Um,
That is the when you've invested in an artist to a certain extent, when they suddenly show some true colors.
oh, Nate Bargatze. Now,
Oh yes.
I always knew that Nate was right wing just because I know him a little bit better than I think. When he was in LA, I knew him a little bit better, and I knew he was right wing. But he wasn't the kind of right wing where I was like, ugh. It was just like, okay, so you're
Conservative
there's a different.
economically,
Well,
is it that?
there. Well, it's not only economically, but there are people that like there are right wingers that like go to church and are like, okay, I don't agree with that, but just don't keep it out of my house or whatever, which I'm fine with. You're not bothering other people. So he was always he seemed like that type to me, and then and I heard his parents were like really crazy right wingers, and then when he got outed, he went to some Trump thing, and uh and then I talked to someone and they're like, oh no, I had worked with him a while back. He is full on Trumper. And I was like, oh, interesting. Full on
Right.
Trumper. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
So what is that? Is that the environment that we now live in turning people? Is it you just start making a lot more money and you feel a little bit more bulletproof in your ideas and true thoughts, so you put them out there? Is it the fact that you become famous and 99% of people who become famous become varying degrees of nuts?
I think it's a little bit of that for sure. I think that because there's all these studies that say as you gain wealth, you lose empathy. Like there's so many studies that show that. Um, but um, but I think here in America, it's really so polarizing um, that you really kind of pick one side or the other at this point. So I think the more that they feel attacked by the left, I've just because I voted for Trump, I'm not a fascist, like that kind of stuff. I just think it just pushes them further and further to the right. So if he wasn't that way before, which he didn't give me any indication he was, it kind of makes sense that he would be now because I feel like all the right wingers have just sort of drifted over that way.
Yeah. I was talking to a friend yesterday who's, I would say she's maybe about 13 years younger than me. Super smart, engaged with everything that's going on. And, I was sort of saying to her, this is very different to the fear that I had in the 80s growing up, where,
Hmm.
I had a genuine fear of nuclear war.
Hmm.
It's been mentioned, but I absolutely hung a lot of hope on the song by Sting, which is a sentence I never thought I would say in my life about
Well, you
hope.
shouldn't still.
But hoping that the Russians love their children too was, as a kid, you'd be like, well, you know what? There's a logic to that. If the Russians love their kids and the Americans love their kids, maybe no one's going to fire nuclear missiles. And there was a sense of an endpoint where if everyone could get together and empathize, I feel like we would be in a better place. And then symbolically, it was the fall of then reunification of West Germany and East Germany in the Berlin Wall. But now, like I can't see an endpoint that is positive or optimistic.
Right. Well, yeah, there's that.
Anyway, great
Well,
podcast,
there.
and tune in
Uh,
next week.
like how you start out with something positive and then went to the darkest possible thing immediately.
You know what? Before we started recording, I said we're going to start positive, and I have a feeling we will get to the good shit ASAP.
um, yeah. I mean, yeah, there's no Buffy Vampire the Slayer to close the hell mouth.
No,
I mean, basically,
no.
yeah. I mean, look, climate change is what is the catalyst because all of our politicians are at the end of the day controlled by fossil fuel companies and coal companies and all of that shit. And as climate change gets worse, they have to find more and more detached from reality politicians to support them. So for every year that passes and you get more alarmed about climate change, so do they, and they find more and more just lunatics to
Mm,
run and be in office. And that's where they put all their money. And this is the end result. Just
yeah.
total madness.
Yeah, I was watching an interview actually this morning about a gentleman in the UK who's been talking about climate change and all the ramifications that are going to come from it, and has been doing so for decades. And in the UK, they've got like 4 years stockpile of bread, and they've already
Mhm.
gone through one of those years.
Uh-huh.
And it's
Because they've
like,
had three of their worst, no, I think four of their worst uh 6 years or 5 years in the
yeah,
past since 2020. So they're
yeah,
of crop, output. So they're
yeah.
really staring down the gun
Yeah, they're really
barrel.
struggling.
So
Yeah. Well,
yeah.
but it's like it's good because Australia is like doing some great stuff, like genuinely engaging with this topic and this problem by bringing in some AI centres
Mm,
and what they're
great.
going to do. Like the Premier of Adelaide, Malinaucus, he said, we're going to put together a committee to work out what could be wrong. And I applaud
Oh,
that. Well, so while they're
hmm.
building them, they're going to get a committee together
Oh,
and
good.
yeah,
Yeah,
and
no.
try to work
Yeah.
out if there's an issue. And that's great because
Yeah.
that's what we need.
The committees are the funniest thing. So that's what Democrats have been doing for years. When Biden got in, he was like, "We're going to put together a committee about what to do about the Supreme Court, and we're going to do a committee about climate change." You're like, this is all pretty obvious. Like, if you ask me about the Supreme Court, I would just list four things on a board, and you go pick one of them.
Yeah.
Like there are these aren't hard solutions. Like you don't need a fucking committee of people to come together. It's really you can talk it out in a day and you're done and then you make a decision. But committee is the way of your supposed politicians on your side of doing nothing. That's why they make a committee. It is the do nothing special.
Yes. Yes. Because you can point to it. Well,
Yeah. Like
well,
I made a committee.
yeah. And I'm talking.
Yeah. Yeah.
I'm talking to other people. They've got ideas.
there's people on the committee. It's not
Yeah.
like I mean, we're talking about stuff. How's the committee gonna last? You got to get everybody together, and there's
Yeah.
a table that you got to order, and some chairs for them to sit around it, and then I guess we gotta have sandwiches because there's this lunch.
Yeah.
So it's the committee is gonna putting it all together is gonna be hard. Plus, do we do it in a room with windows or not windows? There's a lot of choices to be made.
Yeah. And Gary can't make Thursday. So we're going to have to put off
No,
Thursday
right, and then
because he's
Renee
really
can't do
important.
Friday.
Well,
Yeah,
Renee can never do
so
Friday.
no, she can't do Fridays at all. And then
She runs a,
well actually September. She can't do September. So
yeah.
well now it looks like October, but then in October we already rented out the table.
Yeah.
So November is
It,
what we're looking about for the
yeah.
committee.
Now, is anyone gluten intolerant? Because we don't want that to go down during our
And then I
snack
know
time.
we said it's summer. So now we get into summer and we can't do summer. So now we're looking at March.
Yeah. Oh, we're out of power. There goes the committee. Oh man, we've had some stuff go down in Australia recently. I'll I'll speak carefully about it because it's very much up in the air. But the Sydney Swans Football Club has had,
Oh God, I
uh,
read about this.
yes, had a few players who are under investigation. So,
Yeah.
out of respect for not knowing all the facts and knowing that there are women involved, I'll just kind of leave it at that. But it was funny talking to um, some fans of the football team, and I would say on the surface, the Sydney Swans are a pretty tight ship and well-run club. From what I've been able to see in the brief interactions I've had with them, and but my friends were, gobsmacked that this would go down, and I've been sort of saying to them for a long time. One of the worst things that happened to me was, as a fan of footy, was getting too close to the inner machinations of clubs and hearing stories and seeing things played out. And in the end, I just couldn't bring myself to watch it anymore. I couldn't disassociate myself, and it's kind of a little bit fascinating to watch people be shocked by this, whereas I'm just a little bit shocked that we don't hear more of these stories.
Sure. Yeah, absolutely. Because there's more, and a lot of them they probably pay the women off for their silence. Yeah, it's there's nothing about it that's even remotely surprising. I don't know why anybody would be surprised at this point. It's just it's gross. Look, the culture, we love sports. The culture of sports is gross.
Hmm.
Not across the board. There's definitely a lot of good people in there, but
Yeah.
there's enough dudes in any collection of that many guys. They're going to be fucking shitheads,
Yeah.
just like in the real world. And I don't know what happened because obviously, you know, the details are not completely out there. It sounds like did they hire sex workers and then they well, okay, so there you go. So that's a very vulnerable profession, and it comes along with all the stigmas. And so when you say no, the story that'll come out, there's gonna be a bunch of guys going, "We're sex workers." Like, you know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
it's a vulnerable, it's not like they invited some girls they met in the bar upstairs, right? So automatically they feel like they can get away with more.
Right.
So it's gross. And hey, better in Australia because those women are legal, so they feel like they can come forward. I think
Right.
in America, they're not coming forward.
Right.
So that's good. But look, it's just fucking dudes and there's steroids, right? All these guys are on steroids. I know people think like all these guys are on steroids.
Yes.
They can't, the testing stays ahead of the labs. They cannot catch them. There's no way you're running that much in today's world and not having your body recover with steroids. That's just not a thing. So those guys are all on steroids. And that fucks with your emotional and everything else. It's gross. What are you gonna do? Our society is just fucking it's like I mean, Reggie Watts, right?
Oh,
We
yeah.
we just hold these people up and they're fucking gross.
Yeah.
And it's just repeatedly happening. And what the fuck do you do? Like you can't stamp it out. It's not going to end. It's just not going to because there's just dudes born like this and they're just bad people.
Right. Yes. It's who they are,
Yeah.
and once again, there's too much money involved in everything.
Hmm.
So
Yep.
people will turn a blind eye or downplay it or find a way to justify it. Like I was talking to someone who is a lawyer about the stuff that was going on with the Sydney Swans, and like she's a Swan supporter, so I'm giving her some leeway with this, but she was sort of saying, it was good that the club came down hard and just these players are out of the side. They're not allowed to play in the finals. Sydney is second on the ladder. They're not allowed to play, and it's good that they've
But that
brought the hammer down immediately. But then she was sort of saying, you know, last year there was the Adelaide Crows player who used a homophobic slur, and someone for Collingwood reported him, and he got suspended for 2 games. He was one of the Crows' best players, and he was. And that was finals. So he didn't play in the 2 finals. They lost the 2 games. Adelaide Crows fans booed the Collingwood supporter, the player who had dobbed him in. And she was saying, you know, oh, it's disgusting because the Crows tried to get this guy to keep playing. But it's good the Sydney Swans have, you know, made our players unavailable. And I'm like, don't put me in a position where I have to say they're two very different things. Like, don't get me wrong, a homophobic slur is awful, but this other one is
It's pretty big.
it's pretty big.
It's pretty big.
You know,
Hey, what one is a bummer for a moment, the other
yeah,
is life altering. That's all.
yeah,
Yeah, I mean, we had a guy here in the States who football player, he got accused of 23 sexual assaults. He paid all the women off so they didn't press charges or drop the charges, and then he was signed to be the quarterback for the Buffalo Bills. And you're like what in the fuck? Like how I don't know how anybody would go into that stadium. I don't care who you are.
yeah,
I don't know how, as a fan, you would walk into that stadium and go, I'm going to watch this team.
yeah,
What the fuck? Where are your fucking more? Do you have any humanity? Like, I don't care if you're a dude or a woman, like, even the most just gross dude should be like, this is not great. This is actually not great. I'm not going to do this.
yeah.
I just don't get it. And there was a quarterback, Ben Roethlisberger, who was a quarterback for the Pittsburgh
Pittsburgh.
Steelers
Yep,
for years.
yep.
That guy was such a fucking gross rapist. The stories I just heard one the other day. I was out with somebody and they're like, oh my God, I was in Chicago. He would literally walk into bars and go, who wants to blow Ben Roethlisberger? You, and he would point at women until someone was like, I'll do it. And they go in the bathroom and blow him. It's just fucking crazy. And then if he didn't get it, he would take it. And his bodyguard would stand outside the door and he'd trap women in the bathroom. Like,
Jesus Christ.
and everybody fucking knew it.
Right.
Everybody knew it. And nobody does anything.
Yeah,
It's just like you can literally do whatever you want if you are in sports. Like those guys, fuck the finals. They should not play the sport anymore because you know
right.
why? Because they've proven they can't handle it
Mm,
as men. As men, they cannot handle the success and all of the shit that comes along with it. You get away with a lot of stuff when you're a professional athlete. You get to do a lot of shit, and you actually can't be around other human beings.
yeah,
You've just proved that. So you shouldn't be able to play the sport anymore. And who gives a fuck about your team? There's
yeah.
bigger things at stake.
Yeah, you have to make a stand. I had a lot of respect for there were some supporters who went to the game yesterday and they watched the women's game, and a few hundred supporters left before the men's game started. And I was like,
Oh, good.
that was good. And I
Mhm.
saw, you know, um, I saw a number of men holding up signs saying, you know, I support this club, but I support women, you know, like,
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
being able to, you know, this binary world we live in. It's like, well, you know, it's not the club. Well, the club has to deal with it, and they have to deal with it in an emphatic way. And you know, you can make that statement. Not everyone has to be like me and fall out of love with the sport, but geez,
But I'm sure people will, and people do, and they'll lose some.
yeah,
I just, maybe because I'm older, but I just go like, you know what? One season doesn't matter. You can take a fucking season off. You can walk
yes,
away for
yes,
a season. You can, because I did the same thing as you. I've walked away from sports because of, weird behavior and all kinds of shit. So I don't really get when these people just stick with it. And you're like, hey, take one off. See what your life is like without a year of that sport. You might
yeah,
like it better.
yeah,
You might,
yeah, yeah.
but it's hard to watch.
It's amazing when you cut something out and there is an initial points where you feel, oh, that's weird. Like I'm not watching this sport that I normally watch, or I'm not seeing this type of movie that I normally watch, or I've given up on this series. And to be honest, that moment passes pretty quickly.
Hmm.
And what happens is you create a gap in your life and you fill it,
Yeah,
and it's good. You fill it
you
with
do.
other
You feel
stuff.
it. You know, there's a show I really like, The Boys,
Yeah.
and one of the leads said that he fucking when he was an IDF soldier, I think it was kidnapped and killed, or he killed somebody. And I was like, ah, yeah, I don't want to watch that. And
Ah,
then I just didn't watch it. I
right.
didn't watch the last season. I was like, I'm out.
Yeah.
I don't miss these things when uh, they can always be replaced by something else.
Yeah.
Or go read a fucking book. Like I just don't understand the need to keep going back to this thing when there are really shitty fucking people involved. And obviously, there's grades of it, right? Our entire society, like everything we watch, you can bring up like I still use Amazon. Like
Yeah.
I've worked for Fox. Like where does it end? Like if the Dollop did a deal to be exclusive on Amazon, people would flip out. And I'm like, yeah, but I've worked for Fox.
Right.
So what's the fucking difference?
Yeah.
I would actually argue Fox is far worse than evil. Like,
Yeah.
so I don't know that, I guess we've all got our line that we need to, draw. But to me,
Who?
the grossest one ever was Kobe Bryant. Because living here in LA and knowing, so I worked at the Staples Center
Yeah.
for like a year. And
Right.
the stories I heard about Bryant and his family were unfucking believable. Like
Right.
the worst people on the face of the earth. Like just fucking assholes to the 10th degree. Like you couldn't believe the stories. You'd just be like, he did what? Like just fucking assholes. So when that story came out, I was like, yeah, he did it.
Right.
Because it fits in with his behavior of what I've been hearing about for a fucking year. He
Right.
absolutely did it. And when you read the story, you go, yeah. And everyone acts like, no, but it's like, man, they sent in a pack of fixers. Like that whole little town they just flew in a private plane. They packed it with LA fixers. They went in and they spread money around for people to lie and change their stories. And it was very obvious what had happened. But to watch everybody just rally around him, you're like, guys, he's a basketball player. What are you doing?
Yeah.
What are you doing?
It's funny that you say that. So like first NBA series I saw was Philadelphia beating the Sixers in '83. Philadelphia beating the Lakers in '83.
Hmm.
And then the next one was Boston Celtics beating the Lakers in '84. So all my friends were
Uh-huh.
Dr. J and Larry Bird fans.
Yep.
And, you can imagine in Australia in the early '80s, like a lot of people were very happy to support Larry Bird. Not his fault.
Uh-huh.
He not
Hmm.
That's no shade on Larry Bird, but
Hmm.
and I was a
Hmm.
Magic Johnson fan, and
Okay.
so I was a Lakers guy through and through,
Hmm.
and then it was around 2004 that I found it hard to, even though I love basketball, like I love it, it's my favorite sport of all time, but
Yeah.
I just kind of drifted, and like I'm nominally a Lakers supporter,
Uh-huh.
but it's the time that I was most excited for the team was when just before LeBron joined, and we just had a whole lot of young kids who had been picked through the draft, and I was like, well, here's a team I can get behind.
Yeah.
And then LeBron came, and then he got rid of those young players, and I don't
Yeah.
know, I would have. Yes, championships are great, but I actually just would have liked to grow with a bunch of young guys being molded into a team. And, to be honest, maybe it would have been nice just to follow a team that won somewhere between 44 and 48 games a season, and one year made it to the Western Conference Finals before being knocked out 4 games to 0. But I could have just liked them.
Yes.
I feel like that's one of the
Yeah.
things that's been lost in modern sports conversations is It's like it's the ring or nothing, or if you don't win the championship, it's been a failure. And some
Yeah.
of the tennis players and basketball teams and footy teams that I have the most affection for are the ones that overachieved and
Yeah.
never quite got there.
Oh yeah, when the San Francisco Giants won their three World Series in like 5 years, they were never supposed to do it. Everyone was like, they're not that good, and people would get angry because like, I can't believe they won again. And it just made it all that much better as opposed to this team. Like I've been a 49er fan for years. The
Yeah,
49ers, whenever they would win, you'd be like, yeah, they were supposed to win that, and it's crazy if they didn't.
yeah,
So it's much better when it's like a big surprise that they come through and win something. Much better. It's 1,000 times better.
yeah. Joe Montana, he's good, right? Like
He's a
Joe,
good guy. Yeah.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah. I haven't heard anything bad. You try to find it, but there's nothing out there that's really bad about
You see,
Joe. I'm sure
yeah,
someone will say something now. They'll be like, no, he's this. And yeah, of course he is.
he murdered
But I haven't
nine
heard
people.
anything bad. But stuff does sneak past me. Like I am a big Ronaldo guy, but then he came back to Manchester and I was like, yeah, he's back. And someone's like, he's a rapist. And I'm like, what?
It
And then
was
you
hard
look
to
it up and
keep
you're like,
up.
oh, Jesus fucking Christ. Yeah. All right.
Yeah,
I gotta give up. Like I
like
didn't.
Montana was my way into NFL because I was homesick and it was like a Saturday afternoon. And it was just, back in the day when your TV didn't have a remote and to stand up and walk over was too much energy because I had the flu. And I saw an interview with Joe Montana. And I went, oh, he's cool. And then a couple of
Yeah.
days later, it was the Super Bowl with him leading the famous 8-minute charge to win the game. And I just decided beforehand, oh, I'll support the 49ers because that cool guy plays. And then I was like,
Yeah.
wow, how good's American football? This is great. And then they won again the next year when I was playing basketball in California.
Yeah. Back to back.
Yep.
Yeah, I haven't heard anything bad about those teams. Like nothing's come up. It's very weird when like I'm a big San Francisco Giants fan, obviously, and we had this team that everybody loved, and there was a guy named Kevin Mitchell who was like, like fucking ex-gang member, like had been shot, the gold teeth, but just the greatest guy and just this awesome baseball player. And I loved him. He's like my favorite player. And then like, 10 years after he retires, the woman accused him of sexual assault. And you're like, yeah, okay. He just can't like anybody.
That's the way to do it, isn't it? Just hold back on any adoration and just try to love the art. I think the way to go forward is I'm just going to like artists that if I'm being really honest with you, I don't really know them.
Yeah, or yeah, I mean, right, or not find out, and you're like you wish you could never find out about anything about. There's so many bands that I used to enjoy, like Arcade Fire. Oh, cool, that guy also.
Right.
Like it's just endless. You just can't. It's really, I guess it goes along with like stardom. Like there's just fucked up dudes that are out there.
Yeah.
But Reggie Watts to me is like that dude. When I would see him in like because we were around the alt clubs at the same time, I got a bad vibe and I stayed the fuck away from that guy.
Oh, really? Right.
Oh yeah, I stayed. He to me just came across as like a new agey con man.
Oh,
And I
yes.
guess the reason is because I did a lot of psychedelics. I
Right.
fucking did a shitload of psychedelics starting when I was like 15 all the way through probably 30.
Right.
So when I hear that kind of language and I see that kind of stuff coming out of someone, I'm just like, wow, this is bullshit. You are a fucking giant bullshitter.
Right.
A couple of my friends reached out to me to try to commiserate over finding out this stuff about this guy that they considered a friend and liked so much. And I was just like, I'm not the guy to commiserate with.
No. No. I was on the psychedelic train looking back.
I was on team. I texted one other guy and I was like, what do you think about this? He goes, that guy. No, he was always bad. And I was
Yeah.
like, see, it's
Yeah.
and that guy also was raised in an alcoholic home and did a lot of drugs. So I think there's something to it. Like I think you just kind of know that species a little bit more, and you go,
Right.
yeah, this isn't really something. My spidey sense is going off a little bit here.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. You recognize it. It's there is this is one of the things that when people are talking about specific comedians and the way they're presenting themselves, and once again, you know what's going on, and I'll always try to say to them, don't underestimate that a comedian's skill is to walk into a room and immediately work out how to pitch themselves.
Absolutely.
If it's a rowdy room, they can be a rowdier comedian. If it's
Hmm.
a soft room, they can be quieter in their approach. And if society has decided that this is how we should talk about things, that is how they will talk about things. But they didn't
Hmm.
talk about those things that way before.
No, they didn't. Yeah, it's yeah. Well, we're chameleons, right? And you know how to work people. I mean, that's just it. That's the reality situation. You just know how to work people.
Yeah.
So that's what you do.
Yeah, and then on the flip side, I've seen people that I really like and people I really admire, get one opportunity at something and it hasn't worked out for whatever reason, and never get another chance.
Hmm.
And you know that person is a good person. All they
Hmm.
did was their best. They were put in a situation that they probably were never going to have a chance to succeed,
Yep.
and that's your chance. On
Yep.
your way.
That
Goodbye
happens
for
so
now.
often too.
Thank you so
It's
much.
crazy to watch that, but I've watched that a lot.
Yeah,
Definitely. A lot of people just get that one shot. You're like, oh, that was it. Yep, that was it.
that was it.
Sorry. This other guy gets a million chances.
Yeah, yeah. We'll just one more. That's it. We'll just give them one more.
Yeah, one more. One more.
I
Yeah.
remember touring a long time ago now. Well, I was like, when I say a long time, I mean like 24 years ago on the road with comedian Greg Fleet. And at the time, his management uh, wanted to send him money. Fleety was back, he's been public with his heroin addiction. And at that
Hmm.
point, he was using again. And he didn't have a credit, he didn't have a bank card. So they were asking me to, if they could put the money in my account and I would go and withdraw it for him so he could live on the road while we're on the road. And, like I was getting bank fees by, and I wasn't earning as much money. And so I kind of sort of suggested, could they send me an email when they've put it in? So I'm not going in to check to see if there's money
Yeah.
there because I'm getting a bank fee for just checking.
Oh, you
And
were?
yeah, this is back when,
That's
yeah, and this is back when
wow.
even logging, like early days of logging in on the internet to the bank, you would get charged for that,
Oh my
right?
God, that never
Yeah.
happened to us.
All right.
That's
Well,
amazing that you had something worse in America.
yeah, sometimes we just like to go, we can be a bit shit too. And anyway, I just suggested, hey, could you send me an email when the money's in there? And the response was like, oh, fuck. Justin Hamilton, what a pain in the ass. It's like, I'm doing you a favor. I'm doing you a favor.
That's so fucking
Why?
funny.
How am I the
There's
bad
nothing
guy in
about
this?
this. There's nothing about this story where I'm the pain in the ass.
I'm just saying, this is accumulating over the course of a week. I'm suddenly spending
Yeah.
$12 in bank fees. And
Yeah.
I'm sorry, I'm at that point where $12 is substantial.
Also, what about just your time?
Yes.
Like, fuck,
Uh,
fuck that.
Fuck, I was going to do some work, but I better get to the ATM so Leader can get his buzz on to, you know, maybe dominate his headline spot or maybe not, but it's in Fleety's defense, he always said thank you. So, there's that.
He is at the end of the day a nice guy. I mean, he seems like a nice guy. I've met him. He seems very nice.
Let's finish on something that is definitely maybe a little less uh, down in the dumps. But you gave me some homework which I am
I did.
so glad that you did. And you suggested I watch the movie Exit 8,
Yes.
and it is a
What
film.
what's it what's it on? Do you guys have Shutter down there?
Now, do we have that? Is that something that maybe you can get through Amazon Prime, or like it might be
Shutter
a
is
smaller
maybe you
subsidiary
can.
of that?
Shutter is its own streaming service
Yeah.
that just does horror.
Yes.
And that's where I saw it because I love Shutter. I'm like, I'll always Shutter's one of those ones I'm like, I'm always gonna give you money because you're sticking with the thing.
Oh,
You
yeah.
you got a thing, you're sticking with it. I'm
Yeah.
down. Here's my
Yeah.
money.
Yeah, I appreciate it. You're sticking to
Yeah.
form. So, no, I just rented it
Okay. Yeah.
on Apple TV, and I'd been uh, I'd been looking at it for a while, so it was a good nudge to have, and
Hmm.
uh, it took me by surprise, to be honest.
Right?
Exit 8.
It took me by surprise too. Yeah.
Yeah, for anyone who hasn't seen it, it's essentially about a man who is lost in a subway and he's trying to
Hmm.
find his way out. And there's rules that he discovers, which is if he notices anomalies each time he returns to this similar looking part of the subway, he has to turn back. But if he doesn't notice any anomalies, he can walk forward. But if he misses them and walks forward, he's right back at zero, and he has to try and get up to exit 8.
Eight. Yeah.
And man, while I was watching it, what was really fun, first of all, I thought it was going to be actually scarier, and it's actually more existential.
Yes.
And also,
It's a puzzle, right? At the end of the
yes,
day, it's a puzzle.
yes. And boy, I was having so much fun because there were times when I fucking noticed shit that he didn't.
Yeah. Yeah. Stuff happens. You're like, oh, buddy, that's a thing.
Hey, don't walk forward. The door handle's in the middle of the door. It was on the right.
Yes. Right. Yeah.
And it
Yeah.
was just great. And I'm really back rooms and exit 8, and there's this kind of uh, new wave of liminal horror, which is quite fascinating.
I think it comes from, which is, I think, a very good thing. I think it comes from cheap. I think
Right.
they're trying to make movies that limit the amount of sets you use.
Yes.
So for beginnings, you can just rent out an office building, right?
Right.
For Exit A, you can rent out a fake subway like thing. So and that I think I can't say it's for sure, but my belief is that that leads you to be more creative with the storytelling to try to create an interesting story.
Yes. Yeah. Constraints are good.
Yeah. It remind me of so in the early 90s, I would go to every movie almost. And the big films were not as big as our films today. They were big, but they were still more interesting. But the independent movies is where it was at.
Right.
And these felt like 90s independent movies, which is what we
Yes.
need to get back to. Like I
Yes.
think that it just rewards people who make more, who've thought about it more, who've thought about the levels of the movie and thought about how it's going to look and like just really thought about like how can I take this really sort of cheap exterior and interior that I have and make something really enriched out of it.
Mm.
And that's what it used to be like. You got a tiny budget and you had to make a fucking movie.
Yes, yeah, yeah. You've only got, like one of the things that drives me insane, and I saw a thing where, uh, who gives a shit about this movie? I've just seen the trailer so many times, but Avengers Doomsday, the first trailer that came out, and then there was a second trailer or a second thing, and the visuals have already changed from
From
one
the
to the
first trailer to
next.
the second trailer.
Yeah, and it's and there's this part of me that's like, why you don't have to spend, like, you're spending so much money,
Yeah.
and you know what you could do? You could just plan it and get it right the first
Hmm.
time.
Yeah, you can. Or yeah, you don't have to rush it out. You don't have to. You can just get it done, and then I remember there was a point, and I don't remember when this happened. It was in the 2000s sometimes, where all of a sudden they would show you a trailer, and there'd be a scene in it that's never in the movie,
Oh yes,
and you're
yes,
like, "What the fuck?"
yes. Yeah, you know, the first movie I noticed that with was The Godfather Part 3, where there
Oh,
was
really?
this,
Back
yeah,
that far?
back that far. And
Oh, wow.
because I was, so this is why I remembered it. I was a big Andy Garcia fan because I loved The Untouchables and I'd never seen Andy
Hmm.
Garcia before. And, you know, that moment where he talks to Sean Connery for the first time and he says, you know, what's your name? And he says, George Stone. And he said, what was it before you changed it? And he says, Giuseppe Pedri. And he's like, I knew it. One stinking whop on the team. And then he knocks it out. It's better than you stinking Irish pig. And the way he looks at Cosmo,
Yeah.
he's like, oh, I like him. I was like, Andy Garcia, this guy is the best. And so then they put Garcia, like at the time, I was like, this is the new Pacino. And then they put Garcia in Godfather Part 3. And
Oh,
there's
yeah.
a moment where I think he's in a suit and all that happened in the scene was he spits in some guy's hand and his hair flops forward and he goes, I'm a Corleone. And I went, fuck yeah, let's go. Not in the movie. Not in the movie. I kind of got to the
Which
end
is
of the.
crazy because when you do that, you do you not realize that people will be sitting in the movie theater waiting for that scene, so it's
Yeah.
almost distracting from the movie for them.
Yes. This is the reason. This is one of the reasons I want to see the film is because you've given me a taste of the film. Like
Yeah.
it's like you know, hey, I'm gonna give you a 5 course meal and you're gonna love the potatoes, and then you get to the end, and you go, where the fuck are the potatoes?
You can't do stuff that's distracting. I remember when I was studying acting, I had a scene that I was doing with my partner and in front of the class, and and I was my she's supposed to be my wife, and I'm supposed to be in a we're having a disagreement. So I came in with a beer, and I said, "Do you want a beer?" And she said, "Yeah." And then I shook it up and I put it on the table, which wasn't in the scene. And then we did our scene, and it ends, and the teacher goes, "I mean, it was good, but everyone was wondering about the beer."
Yes,
And then everyone nodded their head, and everyone, I was like, "What?" And he goes, "Everybody was thinking about the beer. No one was thinking about it. Everyone was waiting for her to open the beer."
it was Chekhov's beer.
Yes. And so I was like, "Oh, you can do stuff that's way too much."
Yeah,
But that's what you do with that kind of shit. Like you have to put it in the movie somehow.
yeah,
But I would get why they wouldn't, because if he's spitting and a guy's hair is flopping forward, it's a big pivotal moment in a movie, and maybe they felt it didn't work. But then don't put it in the fucking trailer. Put
Don't-
shit in the trailer
yeah.
that you know is going to be in the movie. This shouldn't be hard. This
No,
really shouldn't be hard.
no, no. And you know what? I like restraints on a film. Like I
Yeah.
like, you know, to me, restraints aren't uh, not having budget. Restraints are this is what we've got and this is what we're working with. If it's a
Yeah.
$250 million film or $1 million film, this is what we've got. We've got to think our way through
Yeah.
making this and building it and putting it together. And yeah, I
Oh,
found
it's like the two movies we're talking about.
yeah,
You're going to be in a subway station.
yes,
That's all you get.
yeah,
You're going to be in an office building. That's all you're getting.
yeah,
And now you got
uh,
to work with that.
yeah, and a really I love the ending too. Didn't
To eight.
exit 8. Yeah,
Yeah.
you know,
Ending was great.
because it kind of ends in a way where like I have my theory on
Yeah.
what happened after the credits, which may or may not be the same thing as you. I'm going to spoil it. I feel like he learned a lesson and he went and said something to that guy who was berating the
Yeah.
woman with the child.
That's right. Yeah.
That's 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 what I felt, you know, from
Yeah.
watching it, and that's because I was completely engaged with that character who doesn't have a name and
Oh,
literally
yeah.
is walking around in circles. You know,
Yeah.
that's a well-made film to me.
Yeah. Very well made film. And the other guy's walking around in circles too. And then the reveal on him is just
Oh
like I had to
man.
stop it and rewind and go, what the fuck?
Yeah, yeah, yeah. That moment where he decides, you know, I think he for me, that was like almost watching someone get off the wheel of life. No, that's it. I could help this
Yeah.
kid out, but I'm just going off into the ether.
No, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was really good.
Yeah. It was yeah, it was one of those things where I was like, you made the suggestion. I'd been working all day and I thought, I'm gonna make sure I get onto this because sometimes you're like, oh, I'll do this tomorrow, and then tomorrow never comes.
Hmm.
So I just got into it that night and just was locked in all the way. Uh,
Yeah,
it, it's and it rewards patience as well. It's
it does.
one of the funny things that I've noticed. I watched the first episode of Lanterns, which came out on HBO, and so many people complaining about not knowing where the story's going, and it's like it's the first episode.
What happened to everybody? And I mean this, like, what the because this isn't a new thing.
No.
It that's you're not supposed to know. It's a fucking show. It's a
Yes.
movie.
Yes.
You're not. You don't open a book and go, so what happens? Well, you. That's why you're reading the book.
Yeah.
That's why you're watching the movie. You don't. What happened to this thing where all of a sudden everyone's like, I gotta know. No, you don't. That's why. That's the whole point of the
Yeah.
movie.
Yeah.
But it's so prevalent now.
Yeah.
It drives me insane.
Yeah.
And it's getting put into by suits. It's getting put into all of our content. So they tell you, and you're like, I don't need to know. Do it.
This
Get
is
on with it.
this is the point. You're meant to experience it.
Yes.
Yeah.
And then you have a reaction.
And then you have a reaction. I had someone recently who complained to me that every time we go to a movie, you want to talk about it afterwards. Well, I don't know what to say to that. Sorry, I thought we just went and experienced something together, so we could. Don't you want to chat about what we just both collectively saw?
Have you ever noticed that one of the most prevalent podcast genres is people discussing movies? Have you ever noticed that? Do you know why? Because
Yeah,
people like to talk about movies, it turns out.
yeah, yeah.
What do
It's
you think
fun.
what do you think a book club is?
Yes, yes. We all experience it. We all have a little chat about it. It was.
I mean, I would say that that's the greatest problem with TV shows today is the water cooler, right? It's gone
Yeah,
because we're all watching it at different times
different
now.
times. Yeah,
Or they put out them all at once so you can binge them, which I've become a binger. Um, but like you don't sit around and talk about each episode as it comes out. You just don't do that because you're all at different. I mean, there's some, right? So there's big ones like Game of Thrones, I guess was one where it came out weekly and people would still talk about it. And but I haven't seen that with the new Game of Thrones. But it doesn't seem like there's that many of those. Apple's still doing it. They're doing it weekly. And some shows I wait for and I binge. Like Sugar, I knew I wouldn't be able to sit through a weekly version of it. So I waited until I could binge it.
yeah.
Um Silo I'm watching weekly.
I'm watching Silo weekly as well. Enough
But
happens
there's
in
ones
every
like
episode that I want. It gives me time to sift
yeah,
through all the different storylines and
yeah, there's a lot going on there. But there's ones I'm just like, I'm not gonna watch this weekly. I'm gonna but
it.
we're not all on the same wavelength anymore, which
it
was honestly one of the things, they talk about people being isolated and all this stuff. And aside from no longer being able to most video games, you can't play together on a screen anymore. Like you used to have four guys sitting in a room playing the same game. That's gone. Beside that, I think that the weekly episodes that you could sit around and talk about because you talk about it for the whole fucking week. You guys, you
yeah,
talk about it with different people and at different times, or else you revisit it with somebody. I just thought of this thing. That's another way that we are totally isolated
yeah,
by
yeah.
modern technology has taken us and isolated us more and more. And I think those are two of the biggest things.
Yeah, I was literally talking to Sydney comedian Andrew Barnett on the weekend, and he was telling me how he's loved The Bear. And as I started talking to him, just through instinct, I said, "Where are you up to?" He said, "Oh, I'm just about to start season 3." I'm like, "Oh, okay."
Mm.
Like, it's it's over. Like,
Yeah.
so it's like you could still have a conversation, but you had to think through where he's at. Don't give
Hmm.
away anything that you've learnt
Yeah.
because you've gone through another 2 seasons and a special beyond him. And it's just off, off the cuff conversation shouldn't be that hard.
No, they shouldn't. What's really funny is when you have kids. So my kid's 17 now. So uh like he just watched The Mentalist, which I didn't like, but he just literally finished all the seasons. I think there's
Right.
7 like yesterday.
Yeah.
But like when he's like, "Hey, do you want to watch this?" I'm like, "Yeah, I'll watch that with you." So we've watched different series over, which for me is fine because I haven't seen it. Breaking Bad,
Oh,
loved it, watched it, but I don't remember a lot of it. All the
yeah.
little parts, and then when you watch something a second time, you pick up on more stuff.
Yeah.
So I got to watch that with him, but I've talked to other dads. They're like, "Oh yeah," like they're all dads are watching old content with their kids,
Yeah.
which is
Great.
fascinating.
Yeah. The
Yeah,
Wire, suddenly Breaking Bad, all
yeah.
those things that you get to
Oh, you're
re-engage
you're
with.
muted all of a sudden.
Oh, why is that?
There you are.
There we go. Breaking Bad, The Wire, The
Yeah,
Sopranos, all those series
yeah.
that are just waiting for them.
He now he's trying to find one, and he's like, "I don't want another long one. Mentalist was too long." And I was like, "I think you really like Burn Notice." And he's like, "It's 100 episodes." I'm like, "They're all going to be 100 episodes."
Yeah.
That's what they were back then.
Yeah, don't get
Have you
him
ever
into
seen Burn
ER.
Notice?
No, we discussed this. This is something that I have circled.
Yeah. Um, but there's a but when you start thinking about it, there's a lot of really good shows that you watched and you forgot about, but they're out there.
Yes.
It's not the
Yeah.
same though.
But you know what would be good to rewatch yeah, have you finished Breaking Bad with
Yeah,
him?
we finished that a while ago. Yeah.
Ah, okay. The Shield.
I brought that up to him. That's a really good one.
The Shield
Yeah,
is
that would be good
so
to that would be
good.
good to watch again.
Mate, The Shield has
I
got
loved that.
it is so fucking good.
The first episode you are in.
Damon
Because I, tr-
Lindell.
I tried to get him to watch Justified, and the first season's not that good.
Right.
So he kind of faded out, and I was like, and then I first thought I was like, oh, The Shield, like that'll catch right away. You're
Yeah,
in.
yeah. Yeah, Damon Lindelof worked with Sean Ryan, I think, on what was that show? Nash County or something like that, and
Oh yeah,
the Don Johnson series, and
yeah,
so they all work together, and he read Sean Ryan's pilot for The Shield, and he was like, "This is brilliant," but they're not gonna let you end that way. And then when he watched the first episode, he was blown away that's how
yeah,
they ended. And that is a series where it's one of the rare series that you can, I think, categorically say the last season's the best season, and it just keeps getting better and
yeah,
better and better. Like for anyone who hasn't watched it, there's a whole season with Glenn Close, which is
yeah,
wild that Glenn Close is in this show, and Forrest Whitaker
yeah.
turns up for 2 seasons, and everything that happens at the end of the pilot has reverberations on the very final scene of the final episode.
Yep. Yeah, 100%. Yeah, they really put it together well. Which is too bad because Sean Ryan is such a fucking piece of shit.
Oh no.
Oh God,
Really?
he's such a right wing fuck. That guy is fucking like what if Husey was 10 times worse? Like
Oh,
he is a garbage human being. He just treats everybody poorly on set. He's a fucking asshole. Like just through and through. One of the worst people. Yeah. Yeah. Sorry. Remember we were talking about at the start?
oh dear. Well, you know what? I'm glad
Yeah.
I've already bought my Shield DVDs over there. He won't be getting any more money, and that's in the past. And I don't feel too bad about that. Just quickly, I went to a preview for the end of Oak Street, and
Oh, now people keep saying they love this.
it is such a surprise. And the friend that I went with was the opposite of the one who complained that I talk about things. And it
Uh-huh.
was I knew so little about the film. I
Yeah. Well,
arrived.
of course, because it sounds so fucking dumb.
Yes. Yes, it does. It does. But you know what? I essentially, I got tickets to a preview. I took my friend. She'd been having a tough day at work. I was pretty tired. I was like, "Where's Ewan McGregor? It's Anne Hathaway. I don't care. I'm an unashamed Anne Hathaway fan." So,
Yeah.
and then early on, you're sitting there going, "Oh, this is giving me kind of like 80s, early 90s Spielberg vibes." And then
Hmm.
it progresses and it progresses and it progresses. And it got to a point where the audience was laughing so hard and yelling and kind
Oh
of an
yeah.
old school reaction. And there were at
Yeah.
least two times that I turned around after someone said something on the screen and quoted it to my friend who laughed the second time because we were laughing at
Wow.
and it's kind of also got a mildly dark underbelly that if you think things through, it's like, oh, there's a little bit more going on here than, like it's a thrill ride, but there's
Yeah.
more going on. And then if you watch the credits at that very end of the as soon as the movie ends, there's just something that recalibrates maybe why the director made it, and it
Oh,
gives you another flavor. I thought it was great.
interesting. All right. Yeah, I want to see it.
Yeah. Is before we go, is Finn? Where's Finn at with baseball?
It's very weird. I don't know if we've talked about all the laws that have been changing with the baseball, but it's baseball's always been kind of it's been kind of a wild west because they never paid baseball players, even though there or any college athletes, because even though there's tons of money being made, they never paid anybody. So then
Yeah.
they want a thing called the NIL, so now they can get their own like contracts through sponsors and other people. So then it created this sort of wild west of all these big schools like
Yeah.
paying like tons of like some kids are making $7 million and they're never going to go pro, but they're going to make $7 million in college
Right.
playing for whatever school. And then everyone's like, okay, this is too much because now certain colleges are buying championships and everyone's like, oh god, it's getting out of control. There's also the thing called the transfer portal that they did around the same time where they're like, now you can switch schools and switch teams. So that also created this like wild west thing where all these kids are switching teams, doing stuff. So then they recently said, now you can only go to school for 5 years. None of this guy's going for 7 and 8 and red shirting, which means just not playing but hanging out for a year and all this other shit. So they did the 5 and they capped it. Well, Finn's year is the year that will get the most fucked by that. Um, so now, as opposed to they used to take like 15 kids for per team to play on a baseball team, they're taking 8, maybe 8.
Right.
And now they're going, well, oh, I don't need it. Why would I take a with one coach actually said this, a coach of the Hawaii baseball team. He said, I can't take you guys. My job was on the line and I need to go to junior college players or other colleges and take guys out of the transfer portal because they're proven.
Right.
So I know who they are. So so he's just in a really tough year. So he's probably gonna go to a junior college and play. But also like he had with the way the coaches were, he had a bad year last year, and you can't have a bad junior year because they're like, well, he's not very good. Like he almost got on the best Southern California it's called a scout team. And so scouts just go watch your games. You don't play against another team, you just play each other
Right.
and just there's like 20 scouts there just watching, but he didn't get on because it was junior year, because of what the coaches did. So, but when the guy saw him throw, the head guy was like, who's been a scout for 40 years. He went, holy shit. When he saw Finn throw, like he's like he made a imprint. So he should be okay. But it's just like fucking everything else. It's just fucking bullshit. There's just a bunch of bullshit happening, and you're like, okay,
It's
whatever.
it's
We'll
kind
know.
of
We'll know in October, at the end
right.
of October, because he's been invited to. It's a tournament of no kid has gotten a college offer, so it's all the best of the kids who haven't gotten college offers. So he'll go to that, and we'll know at the end of October if he's going to go to a 4-year school or if he'll go to a junior college.
Right. Yeah. There just doesn't seem to be anything that doesn't have a ridiculous amount of dumb hurdles.
You know what it is? It's money.
Yeah, it is money.
It's just everything I just told you has been extremely complicated because of fucking money.
Yeah.
It's all money bullshit. NCAA didn't want to pay kids, then they had to pay them. Oh, they did an NIL thing, which is that everyone can pay kids. Like schools were like, if they wanted a player, the fans and the boosters would create a fund and be like, hey, if you come here, we'll give you 20 million. Like it's just the
Yeah.
craziest shit going on. And so it's just like, yeah, it's all fucking money. It's just money fucking it all up.
Yeah.
All the travel teams that he's on. I don't know if you've ever heard about American sports, but it is a goddamn nightmare. The amount of money you pay, hopefully you get on the right one. Like it's just people are paying gobs of money and their kids fucking suck.
Yeah.
They we played two Colorado Rockies scout teams this summer. They came from Colorado to play Finn's team, and Finn's team was like 10 times better. And you were playing it, and you're just like, you guys, who's convincing you that this is your future? None of them were going to make it onto a college team, but those kids are probably. I mean, think about it. That's just travel from Colorado to LA for an entire team, on top of you're paying the coaches, and none of them were good. And you're like, what is everybody doing?
Yeah.
Like, it's just so
Yeah.
weird. But you're selling the dream, right? You're selling the false reality of you can do this, and you just wish you could go through and go, you're not going to do it, you're not going to do it, you're not going to do it, you guys, this isn't your calling, go do something else. And it saves everybody grief and
And
suffering
debt.
and debt. Like there are some parents that just can't afford this shit,
Yeah.
but they have this crazy idea that their kids is actually going to be good. I mean, there's a kid on Finn's team that's terrible. He's not going to start. He's never started. And he went to a UCLA prospect camp to try and get on the UCLA baseball team. And I was like, my God, you'd be lucky to make a junior college team.
Right.
But there he's paying $500 to go to this fucking 2-day camp. And you're like, what is everybody doing?
Oh man, yeah, it's we didn't even get into topic for another time, but that crazy owner from the Lakers who just bought them recently and is also mixed up with the Dodgers, who suddenly
Oh, that story is fucking nuts.
wild over like out of nowhere over a weekend
It is
decides
so not out of nowhere for me.
right. Oh, it's
When the
been
team
bubbling
got
away.
bought, when he bought the Dodgers in like it was 2012, he paid 500 million over the asking price for no reason. And everyone was like, what? And then immediately a story came out in the LA Weekly. So we used to have these weekly papers all over the country, and it was lefty news basically. And it was like this little paper you just pick up out of a newsstand for free, and you'd read it, and they were all over the country, and then they all went away because right wingers bought them all and just put them out of business. But there's a story in there about how the Dodgers money came from uh, life insurance and annuities, and they did not have enough deposits that were legally required for life insurance and annuities. So government regulation says if you're going to sell $100,000 life insurance, you have to have like 10,000 in deposits in an account, because if that person dies, you better have at least some of it.
Yeah,
And so for all the annuities you have and all the life insurance you have to have a certain amount of money, and they didn't have that. So they were
right.
already fucking, the whole thing was already built on fucking lies. And so now we move forward all these years, and dude, the web of fucking bullshit fraud, it's just that extrapolated. Like they have a company that owns cable companies, and under that, there's a company that does the Dodgers cable contract, which is bigger than anybody else in baseball. But it turns out it's $1 billion in debt, and it's owned by them through a subsidiary of this. Like it's just all this shit where you're just like, oh, there's no money there. There's no money at all anywhere. And he's funneling all the money from the insurance into the fucking Dodgers. And the whole thing is just the craziest house of cards. So he tried to sell the Dodgers. He sold the Lakers. He tried to sell a stake in the Chelsea Football Club. He apparently is trying to sell his stake in like a women's league. I don't want to say basketball, but it's some women's league he owns. He was trying to sell. He went to the which he owns, but he went to the cable company and was like, "Hey, what if instead of the 20-year contract that you're going to owe me for, which is like 800 billion or million or whatever. You give me 500 and we'll walk away. Like he's just trying to get money anywhere he can. Like it's like a guy who needs a drug fix, or like he sold drugs for a drug dealer and then the money got stolen and now he's just trying to raise money everywhere. It's like
Right.
that. Like he's just scrambling around everywhere and go like, you give me money. Hey, will you do this for money? He tried to like sell the future Dodger revenue to another private equity, and they're like, no, what are you doing? So he's just scrambling to find money. So it's a giant house of cards that's totally collapsing. And the more pant he gets and the more word gets out that he's doing stuff, the value of his
Yes.
credits and stuff all starts dropping. So the market's ahead of him, and they're all learning what he's doing, and the values of everything he's doing is dropping. So it's just like this crazy like thing to watch. It's really it's American finances. It's like we did this with Manchester United. Like Americans, wherever we go, we just do the most bullshit, fucked up nonsense financing that's nothing based in that it's all a Ponzi scheme and it's all we do. It's all we know.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, a friend of mine who works for a company somewhere in Australia has had an American wanting to invest a certain amount of money, and my friend has been saying, "Yeah, something about this doesn't add up because he's not asking for anything in return, but he's willing to
yeah.
give you more than you asked for, and he
Yeah.
keeps saying the money's on the way, and it's been
But
a month."
isn't it just like it's just the oldest con, right? It's the
Yeah,
con. You offer more up front, so everyone goes, yeah, that sounds good, but you're playing a fucking game
yeah,
on the other end. And you can't really figure out what it is, but you're like, why is he offering me so much? It doesn't make
yeah,
sense. But they're counting on you being greedy
yeah.
and taking it.
It's it fills me with such anxiety, and I have nothing to do with it. Like just as an
Me
idea,
too.
it's like, what are you doing? Like, for
Well,
for
it's
for
it's what they're
whatever's
doing with AI.
right. Yes.
They're all moving money around in a big fucking circle. I explained it to my son one time, and he's like, "What?" And I'm like, "Yeah, they just move money around in a circle to each other." And I
Yeah.
told him like the deals that had happened that month, and he's like, "What?" I'm
Yeah.
like, "Yeah, it's just all fucking bullshit. It's
Yeah.
just the dumbest bullshit you've ever seen."
Yeah, and then meanwhile, once again, the so-called love that I have for the Lakers, which is only as a sentence, now their owners are Kushner and Bob Iger, who returned to Disney to make sure that everything that they had was worse, and and it's a team full of what did someone post? It's a team full of white guys whose uh, biggest rival will be UV rays.
It's really bad. It's all so fucking bad. Yeah, the most evil people made all their money, and now the most evil people are buying up all of our sports teams, and we hate them. I mean,
Yeah,
dude, the Angels, it's a baseball team.
yeah,
Their owner recently said, "Oh, but the fans don't care about winning. That's like fourth on their wish list." You're like, what the fuck are you talking about?
right.
How
Wow.
crazy?
Yeah.
What?
Well, that's what happened with the Boston Red Sox, isn't it? That they won four
Yeah.
championships, and then the owners went, "Well, we've won four championships, and now we're just going to get rid of all of our assets, and we're going to keep upping the prices for the tickets because we know
Yeah.
everyone's wrapped because they won four championships, and who
Yeah.
gives a shit?"
That's
That's
right.
that's
Yeah.
like the Boston Celtics traded Jalen Brown, who I don't know if you know anything about him as a person, but this
Mm.
is a guy who was invested in the community. This is a guy who went
Oh.
out and was doing all sorts of work and marching,
Mm.
and and then there was like, oh yeah, but Jason Tatum's come back from injury, and there could be we don't let's trade him, and it's like he's
Oh.
for for whatever he is as a basketballer, he's a decent guy. And
Hmm.
like someone put up footage of their son crying because his favorite player had been traded, and
Oh, I saw that.
yeah, and then he reached out to him. Don't worry, little fella, we can still be friends. And it's like you got a smart, and he's been made fun of for nothing worse than someone who thinks he's the smartest guy in the room. It's like, yeah, but if you're surrounded by fucking idiots, like, what are you meant to do? Oh, you meant to sit
Yeah,
here and go,
absolutely.
That guy's trying to eat a barbecue. Oh, maybe you shouldn't do that. Oh, you're the fucking smartest guy in the room, mate. Yeah, your face is on fire. Like, I don't know. It drives me insane.
It really makes you crazy. It really does.
Yeah. And you know what's going to happen? Someone's going to listen to this podcast and get in touch with that guy who's trying to sell all of his stuff. And his manager's going to get in touch with me and say, Hey, we're going to be putting money into your ATM bank. Do you mind just withdrawing it when he needs it? Oh, Dave. I will let you
Yeah.
go. I've been saying I'd let you go for ages. The Dollop is touring. Do
Yeah.
and you and Gareth are returning. What the dates are for that off the top of your head?
Uh, that's a really good question. Do you want me to look it up?
Sorry, I should have.
Because of
I,
course I didn't know the dates.
well, I should have had
Starts
it
on
ready.
I think it starts on the third, but here, right here. It starts on November 3rd in Sydney,
Yes.
and then we go to Melbourne for a couple of dates, and then we go to Brisbane and Canberra and Adelaide and Perth.
Yeah. Big
And
tour.
Will is definitely Sydney. Will is the second show in Melbourne. Nick, uh, Nick is the first show in Melbourne. Those are the only three we've picked so far.
Yeah.
But we have
Right.
other people on the. Trust me, we got all of our comics. We've got all our ideas.
Yeah.
Who will be? It won't just be Will. We'll probably have somebody on there with him. I don't know who you think that might be, but
Yeah. Husey. Just need someone. See, because you know what? We need a committee where we just have some balance, and it'll be great. Because you guys will be talking about facts, he'll be talking about fiction, and you'll meet somewhere in the middle.
oh God, that'd be so funny to invite him on a show.
Mate, you know what? He'll turn up. He'll turn up to the opening of a fucking fridge door.
Well, not French, because aren't they bad also?
Oh, yes. Well, yes, of course. He's against everyone. It's about the people. That's what he's
Yes,
upset
that's right. It's
about.
about the people. Yeah, you can tell.
We'll head to the Dollop website, and I think who's touring you? Is it Century?
What?
Is Century
Yeah,
touring you?
Century. We
So
we
yeah,
always work with Century.
head to Century, and you can find tickets for that. Dave, as always, a pleasure. Thank you so much.
Of course. Thank you.
Thank you to Dave Anthony. Great to always discuss all of these topics with him, and also just really appreciated that bursting of the bubble of Sean Ryan. Well, you know what? I still love the Shield, so I will always have that. So what's coming up this week? Tomorrow we will have the next Lanterns episode, where I'm breaking down what's happening in each ep. I've just watched the second episode, so after I finish recording this, I will be doing a little bit of research and breaking that down. So hopefully you're joining in. So it's going to be for the next few weeks, you'll have a few more podcasts than normal. So that will drop tomorrow. And then on Thursday, Garth Jones returns. He has read 6 new books by 6 diverse authors. They all sound pretty fascinating. And we also have a little discussion about a graphic novel that is 40 years old this year. Yeah. I won't tell you what it is. Maybe you can just work it out. You should be able to work it out if you're a comic book person. So, yes, it's a nice broad chat about all the stuff that he's been reading. And what I'll do is I'll post the links on Patreon and also underneath at YouTube. So if you think those books appeal to you, or one of them appeals to you, you'll be able to find them easily. If you would like to support any of the work I'm doing, if you like my writing, you can find it over at Substack. If you would like more bonus podcasts and one-off film shows, you can sign up to Patreon and find a tier that suits you. Over at YouTube, I have some stand-up specials that I filmed and have uploaded there. And yeah, you can find me. I reckon Instagram's probably the best place to find me. I'm on Blue Sky. I'm on Threads. I'm on Facebook. I'm still on Facebook. I'm not really, like, I go in there and post stuff, but I'm not really hovering on that. But Justin Hamilton Comedian at Instagram is probably the one that I'm popping up on more regularly. So if you would like to follow me there, that'd be great. money is tight. So if you would like to support this podcast, word of mouth is a really good way to get it out there. You can sign up for the newsletter, which is free. That comes out every fortnight. If you would like to write a top review on whichever platforms you use, that too is a good way of supporting what my friends and I are creating here. But also, if you just enjoy listening, that's fantastic as well. All right, I better get going. I've got to start this Lanterns podcast. But thanks for joining me today. I look forward to catching up with you again soon. Until then.